Hi, welcome back to the workshop for episode 31 of the Rickenbacker 620 12-string build. And having got a load of tooling sorted out in the last episode, this time we're going to finally get those frets installed. So having got all the preparatory work done on the fingerboard last time, really is time now just to get these frets knocked in. And I'm just going to be using some of this fret wire. But as you can see, not only do we have to cut this to the right size and to notch the tangs as well to get over the binding, this is also far too straight, so we need to put a little bit of a radius on it. And to do that, I'm just going to use the little radiusing tool that I made some time ago. There is a separate video on how I made this if you are interested. It's very simple. It's just some bearings bolted to a bit of perspex, and you run your fret wire through it, and that will force the correct radius on it. Now, this one is a little bit tricky to set up, I have to be honest, but I haven't changed the settings on it since the last time I radiused some fret wire, and that was also done for a 12-inch board. So in theory, this should be fine as it is. So all I have to do really is just run this fret wire through. It takes a little bit of jiggling just to get it started, and we'll just run that through a couple of times just to get the correct radius on it. And what we're looking for is just a slightly tighter radius than the radius of the board. So this is a 12-inch radius gauge, and as you can see, it's just a little bit tighter. So that's about right for what we want. So we'll just take the other couple of bits and we'll get that radiused up the same. Okay, so that's all radiused up now, so it's just a case really of kind of getting these cut down to the right size with some sharp cutters, using our newly adapted nibbler to nip the tangs, and then we'll use another very high-tech piece of equipment there just to make sure that we don't get them mixed up into the wrong place, and we should be able to quite easily get all these frets prepared for being put in. Now I'm going to leave a little bit of additional material on these, just to make sure we're not making them too small. I'll get my little fret tang nipper on the job, remembering to use it right-handed. Just a tiny little bit more. Yep, that will do for that one. Now it's just a case of doing the same operation right the way down the fretboard. Okay, so there's all the frets cut and all the little tangs are nipped back beautifully. The little fret tang nippers worked an absolute treat. They did do a nice job of that. The only thing I had to do was remember to kind of give them a shake and a wiggle after every couple of frets, just to get the loose bits of tang out of there. I didn't do that initially and it just got clogged up and jammed the blade in the downward position, but it was just a case of disassembling it and cleaning it out, and it all worked brilliantly from there on in. So that's all good. So next up, just need to get some tight bond up into this syringe and we can start to work our way down the fretboard and get these frets knocked in. Okay, so to get these frets in, it's very, very simple. Just going to just run a little line of tight bond into that fret slot. Get the first fret in position. A lot of people might have seen me do this before. It's simply just a case of knocking it in at one side of the fretboard, knocking it in at the other, and then working from the middle outwards like that. And it only takes a few knocks and then that is perfectly seated. And I'll just get rid of any excess glue. And we can move on to the next one, where we will just do exactly the same thing. And if you want to make absolutely sure that it's down, you can always use a small feeler gauge blade just to see if you can get it under anywhere. It's actually going under a little bit there. It's better. And this is also the reason why I like to put my frets in before I do the neck carve, because it means I've got that nice flat surface area on the back of the neck to support it while I'm putting the frets in. So I'm just going to repeat that now and work my way down the neck and get the rest of them put in place. Okay, so that's all the frets in. I've done a very, very quick job of just flushing those fret ends off and put a little bit of a bevel on them, but I haven't gone too mad just yet because there's a few more things I want to do before I get into kind of dressing these frets in any way. So I'm not going to have my arm off on them, but they're far from finished. But the thing I want to sort out now is I'm just going to stick this pickup back in the neck position, and we'll see what the addition of some frets has done for our clearance issues. Okay, so that's the pickup in position. It's not screwed down, but it is kind of flat against the top of the body. I haven't put the foam gasket in, and I think we can see there, it isn't holding it off the frets, but there isn't even a 10th thou gap in the middle of that. So we clearly need to do something with that. But as it happens, someone did say in the comments in the video when I was discussing recessing these in that they have a Rickenbacker and its pickups are recessed into the top. And they confirmed what I said about these foam gaskets, that actually being in that recess really helped contain that foam gasket and made things look a lot neater. So realistically, I have two options. The first is we pull the fretboard off and we do something to shim it out. The problem with that is, A, I don't want to do it because it means taking the fretboard off. And secondly, that might add break angle issues at the other end of the neck. So I'm not willing to go there. So that only leaves me with the option of putting these routs in. It's not a massive deal, just needs a little bit of thinking about, and I need to figure out exactly how far down I want to go to realistically have the adjustment that I need. But that's all going to be for the next episode. I think we've covered more than enough this time. So I'll be back in a few days' time. I will have thought about this a little bit more. I might have the beginnings of a plan, and from there we can go about getting these routes done. Until that point, like if you've liked, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and I'll see you in a few days' time. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.